We're live.
We are live. Yeah, we're starting to gain traction here. Hi guys, we are just going to wait a couple more minutes. So this is, just give me 1 second. Hi, Jennifer, Vivian. Okay, we're starting to get people in. So, hi guys, for everyone who's just joining in. This is my essay, and this is a very, very interesting conversation. And we are going to talk about the nervous system. With just give me once. I'm sorry, I'm having some technical troubles. Can you see me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I am having trouble hearing you guys and seeing you. Just give me 1 second. I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay. Okay, perfect. Where are you? Where are you? There you go. Okay, we are live. I'm sorry, that's the risks of the lives, right?
Yeah.
So Kathleen Thorne here, and she's a registered nurse. She has tons of experience in healthcare. She's been writing for over a year now on Substack, correct?
2 years
Over a year.
this month.
2 years this month. Wow. Yeah, and she and we've been discussing things for a long, long time, back and forth about, health and business and stuff. And even though I first met her when she became subscriber to Smarter Solopreneurs, I absolutely love what she does. And I want you guys to listen today very carefully because what I've been discovering, so again, I'm Maya Sain, I'm writing Smarter Solopreneurs. And what I've been discovering lately, even with myself, is how much our body actually defines uh, our success and what we do in our work, how much it defines our state of mind, which directly affects our creativity, our decision making, our confidence, how we present ourselves. And this is so important. And a lot of the advice that you hear online is about how to motivate yourself or how to do more, etc. But I do think that I like to think deeper, and I think that learning more about how our body works and what makes us tick and what agitates us and what makes us respond in certain ways is so important. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna let we have 16 people already, and I'm sure more are coming in. So I'm just gonna let Kathleen introduce herself and talk a little bit about how you decide to start your publication, your background, your experience. We'd love to learn more.
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Maya.
Of course.
Kathleen Thorne. I'm a registered nurse, licensed massage therapist. I'm also a holistic practitioner. Um, the name of my publication, I recently changed it, was Transformed to Wellness, but as things evolve and we change and we grow. And now I've changed it to Whole Life Vitality. So I want to look at the whole picture, which is what I've always done as an analytical person, as a nurse. It's who I am. I just started writing on Substack 2 years ago. I'm not a writer. I'm learning to write. I'm getting better and better. I've got Maya's one of my mentors. She's fantastic. Listen, guys, go subscribe to Maya if you want to grow in your business and you want help and encouragement. She knows what she's doing. I recommend her 100%. When I first came to Substack, I joined a lot of publications. I spent thousands of dollars and, trying to learn how to grow on Substack. But it's not just about growing on, it's being who you are and being successful at what you do. And you teach that, and you do it very well. And I think you're fantastic. Anyway.
Thank you. I just want to say I didn't ask her to say that. So no, but thank you so much. And
No,
this is all about you. And I know that you've been talking lately about the nervous system and you've been having this whole reset. And honestly, since you started talking about that, I've been like really leaning in to what you have to say, because I feel like you're talking about things about how we react to things, how our body responds unconsciously to
Yes.
things. And I'm like, this actually affects me in my business. Cause like you have a conversation with a client, or you have an unsubscriber, or you have like someone who tells you that sometimes people don't know to click on subscribe, and they'll tell you, I don't know who you are, like remove me from your list. And it's not like I put them there, but they don't remember subscribing. And it's things like that that really sort of can put you down. And I think for solopreneurs particularly, because
Mhm.
entrepreneurs or employees, they have like a team to fall back on, budgets to fall back on, people to advise them, support them. And we are very much alone within our little offices. And even if we have communities online and stuff,
Yeah.
and we need to be resilient. So if you can talk a little bit about, first of all, how the nervous system works in our body and how it affects us as a whole, and then how it could affect an entrepreneur and a solopreneur specifically.
Right. So I won't go into anatomy class. Actually, my next article is going to be a little bit about the central nerve or the
Mm,
nervous system, because there's more than one system within the nervous system, and people
mm,
may not know that. So that'll be my article on Sunday.
mm,
But I want to just say a little bit about it. So we
mm,
have the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord.
mm,
Then that's like the command center. Then the peripheral nervous system is everything else. So
mm,
the peripherals broken down into somatic and automatic. So the excuse me, autonomic, because it's
mm,
automatic. The somatic actually is our conscious actions.
mm,
So that's the system that has to do with more of the decision making and stuff like that. And then out of the autonomic is the sympathetic and parasympathetic, which I know a lot of
mm,
people have probably heard about: fight, flight,
mm.
freeze, and then rest, digest. And then there's the enteric. The gut has its own nervous system, which some people may not know.
Yeah.
So
Mm,
that'll be in my next article. Um, it influences everything. It influences our thoughts, our behaviors, our decisions, our emotions, how we reason. Um, it affects our health, mental and physical health. And everything that we do, everything that we do affects
mm,
those systems. Every
mm,
single thing that we do. And I will say from early childhood, I
mm,
talk about nervous systems because mine was I didn't start with a good central nervous system. Penicillin attacked my central nervous system when I was a baby,
mm,
and it threw me it almost killed me. So
mm,
it really and then my brother opened a bottle of baby aspirin and gave it to me, and I had to have my stomach pumped out. So it all affect my nervous system. And
mm,
then just a little short thing about, wasn't happy as a young person, and I turned to
mm,
drugs and alcohol and things like that. And you want to talk about affecting your and your everything. So, at age 27, I learned to grow up. I stopped
mm,
everything, changed my life around. And at age 27, here I am trying to figure out what's going on. Why do I have anxiety? Why am I depression? Why do I have brain fog and all that? So I went into, I became a nurse and all that. But as a solopreneur, um, I have found that, I mean, you have to do everything. As a nurse, I could come home after a 14-hour shift, but I'm analytical, so it always stays on my mind. I'm a
mm,
person, and there may be a lot of you out there that are like
mm,
this, that, if there's an issue or something you have to address, I can't sleep until address it. So it affects our decision making. The thing about solopreneurs is that we do it all. Now
mm,
we can have delegations. Some people hire people to do things, but some people can't do that. Um,
mm.
um,
Yeah. So
we
what
wear
do you?
so many hats. We wear so many hats. We do our marketing, we do our sales, we handle the technology, the customer service, the
Mm,
our own time management. Something comes up, and then we have the uncertainties like, you know, are we going to make money? Are we going to grow? All the risks, all the unknowns, and then the responsibilities on our shoulders, right?
mm,
Including all our other responsibilities like family, children, whatever
mm.
we have. So it's a huge part. Um, I got just a couple of notes over here.
Yeah, of course.
uh, it affects us, our cognitive effects, decision making, brain fog, difficulty focusing. reduced creativity, which has happened to me, indecisiveness drives me
Mm,
crazy, overthinking. So there's a lot of us that do that. Emotionally, it can affect us. Self-doubt, right? Was this good enough? And you put it out, and you thought it was good when you put it out, and then you question it. You know, was this my best work? Well, we can always do better, but we did the best we could at the time that we did it, right? With the knowledge
mm,
that we had. So we need to, I think, I'll say us, be grateful for that.
mm,
And as we grow and learn and have mentors like
mhm.
you know, that changes. I look back at some of the first stuff I've written, I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I wrote that." It's
Yeah.
embarrassing,
We were
but
all we were
you can
all like that. But
yeah,
if you don't start, you won't get there,
you
right?
won't. And then you have that perfectionism, which I'm a recovering perfectionist.
Mm,
And then, of course, the physical effects, right? So we get headaches, stomach aches, we don't sleep well, we have tension, our blood pressures can go up, muscle fatigue. And then some of the behavioral effects are like procrastination.
mm,
Procrastination is a big one. Avoiding making decisions, reacting instead of responding.
mm,
That used to be really huge for me. And another one, difficulty setting boundaries. That used to be difficult for me. I wanted, because I was helped when I lost everything because of the drugs and alcohol and everything.
mm,
I got a little help from someone. And so when I became a solopreneur, it was hard for me to charge people. It's like, no, I
mhm,
just want to help them. I want to give it to them. It's me giving back. But at some point we have to decide, is this a business? Or
mm,
do I want to make money doing this? Or
mhm,
do I not? And I think our time deserves to be compensated in whatever way that is.
mm,
And, I think that I don't think I know, when we carry so much, it affects everything. And you may can speak about this because you also, in your chat is so wonderful. Your chat,
mhm.
um, for smarter solopreneurs, people will talk about this, and you'll ask us questions. And I mean, what do you think, or what are you experiencing, or seeing, and people are telling you that they're having issues with? Is that some of the same stuff? Is there anything you want to add to that?
I think that everything that you said is so right. And I think that it's so important to understand that a lot of it is happening in our body rather than just our mind and our head. Because when we are in a conversation or when we feel rejected by our audience or by our clients or even it affects, for example, how many sales calls are you willing to go to. And it's something that because your body remembers it from childhood, exactly
Mhm.
as you said. Your body doesn't feel safe going out there and being rejected, for example.
Right.
And it's an evolutionary thing. It's not something that you can easily sort of hack yourself out of through motivational articles or whatever. Like it helps because
Yes.
reading things, it compounds reading and listening and learning and being aware of how things work. Like, for example, you go into, as you said, fight or flight, your breathing changes, your body sort of contracts or changes somehow. And I feel like it happens often to solopreneurs. And the first thing is to be aware of that. So the first thing is and also to be aware of when we should listen to it and sort of lean in and be like, okay, so this is my body really telling me something that it's not my thing. For example, it's not my client or it's not my way of doing things. Because we don't want to, like, you can overpower your nervous system for a while. So you can push yourself or you can, and that's why I find it difficult sometimes with all the different mentors online. And I'm trying to avoid this in my own work,
Mhm.
which is like, this is what you got to do. Like, you go out and you do that and you make a lot of money because you know what? I've done those things and you make a lot of money for 2 months, for 3 months. And then I just feel like broken from the inside. I feel exhausted, because it's just when it's not your thing, when it just like your body sort of
Mhm.
doesn't agree to the constant, for example, rejection or talking to people or whatever it is. And sometimes we can handle a lot of time being alone, and some
Mhm.
people can handle a lot of like socializing and talking. So it's really about figuring this out. And it's so interesting to me how important this whole thing, this whole nervous system body experience is and how important it is to reset it sometimes, even if it's just through breathing or through like the basic things. And I know that you teach, Kathleen, guys, she teaches, she goes through like 1 year nervous system reset, which is amazing, something that I'm looking into. But like even the simple things are, even if you do something little and when you see the change, oh my god. And even, like, I was recently flying when I was flying to Miami, we were caught in, like, some bad turbulence, and I was like, "Okay, oh my god, oh my god, oh my," and I started just breathing in, and it's so insane how like, a certain pattern of breath, and it's so insane how it calmed down, and I was like, why aren't I doing this in my business, for example, when I feel
Mhm.
stressed out or when I because we don't know that it's the same for the body, for the mind, it's the same experience. It doesn't matter that one is, "Oh my god, we're gonna die," and one is, "Someone didn't like my article." For our bodies, is the same thing. Isn't that so interesting?
Well, stress doesn't differentiate between our business life and our personal life. It doesn't
Yeah.
differentiate. It doesn't. And one thing you said, and and it's so true, is that we can listen to all these people, read all these books, and all that's great. But if we don't apply it,
Mm,
we have to apply it to ourselves. I just want to say this: when you and I first met, and we had that hour-long
mhm,
discussion, is one thing you said to me. I think it's really important with people, and it's important not just to our nervous system, but our quality of life and everything. Is that? And you said it to me. You said, "Kathleen, you have to love yourself."
mm, mm, and
And I would beat my
appreciate that.
yeah, I beat myself up all the time when I don't like to say fail. I used to say failed, but it's all a stepping stone to the next step. And it's really important. And you flat out told me, and I started thinking about that, and I didn't. I didn't.
Mm,
I do now, but I
mm,
didn't. And it all goes back to that muscle memory and all that stuff that affects what we do in our life and our business. You, you know,
absolutely.
so I know. I don't know if you want to ask something
Yeah,
next.
yeah, no, I just wanted to go if you wanna add something, I just wanted to go into the
Yeah.
practical a little bit more to ask you a few things, but if you wanna add something to that.
Well, the thing you were talking about too is knowing your body. What's your body's rhythm? Now,
Mm,
I think it doesn't take too long to figure that out. For me, I'm a morning person. My creativity, I feel great, even if I don't sleep that well at night because I have a lot of
mm,
responsibility. Um, at least I'm resting. And so when I wake up in the morning, those are my best hours. By the evening, those are not my best. Now, that may not be for everyone. And
mm,
where do we when do we get our ideas, or where do we get them best? For me, and I'm just putting out examples to get
mm,
people to think, in the shower. Like
mm.
this morning in the shower, I started thinking of all these things. Well, I could say this and I could add this and I can add this, but we'd be here for 5 hours. So,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do, but that's where ideas come to me. So I keep my phone right there so I can pick it up and voice text into it,
Mhm,
because I'm better to I'm better at doing things when the idea comes, do it now. If I write it down, like people write down different articles and what they want to do, and,
mhm,
and and I'm not saying don't do that, but for me, it's best to at least say it right then. And sometimes I will get out of the shower, if I don't have anything to do, I'll sit down and that's when I'll write.
mm.
But I do think we need to be organized too. The
Yeah.
organization. If I'm not organized, my nervous system will go bonkers.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so funny that you're saying that because I used to, for example, one thing that I listened to my body to change was that I would kind of leave things for the last minute and especially
Mhm.
or not necessarily leave them for the last minute, but take on a lot of work and then sometimes leave things later than I should. And then, as you said, saying no is a big nervous system response, guys. Like the difficulty to say no is a
Yeah.
big nervous system response for all of us, like to get centered and to be like no and to accept what comes after you say no because it's that sort of judgment and you judge yourself a little bit and you feel guilty and you like all this emotion, it's like a little explosion of emotion in your head, and if your body can't handle that you will always be apologizing and you always be okay but yeah but I like I would love to or like No. And that was one of my problems, is like I couldn't say no. I took on a lot of work. It affected the quality of the work, which left me with bad reviews, which left me with less work, which like I've gone through the cycle a few
Yeah.
times until I was like, okay, like something needs to change here. And it's not about like this isn't a business strategy. This is like literally a physical, mental, mind thing. It's not about marketing at all.
Right.
And one of the
Fear of
things that I did.
loss. Sometimes it's fear of missing out, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, also. And one of the things that I did with my Substack, because I don't do so many clients anymore, like I do some, but one of the things that I noticed is with Substack is also that I was like a little bit, I mean, I would start working on it, for example, 2 days before the newsletter was supposed to go out, because before then I was like, I was trying to find the right idea or like what to write about. Like it needs to sound interesting, it needs to whatever. And now I'm like, I know that I would feel it in my body. Like I would just tense up and it's like, oh my God, I have to send it out today. And it's not good enough. Like I don't like it. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And the way I changed this response was just give myself time and work in like small portions. I can't be like, I can't sit down in front of my computer for 4 hours. I'm sorry. Like for 4 or 5 hours, this cannot happen. And a lot of people are like, how are you like a solopreneur, successful solopreneur, and you work 2 hours a day? It's not that I work 2 hours a day. As you said, Kathleen, I think about things all the time. And
Right.
sometimes my best ideas come during a walk. So that's also a good example. But one of the things is that if I give myself more time and work in like literally 30 minutes to 40 minutes, like windows, then I'm great. And so I'll have 5 days to work on my newsletter, 40-minute every day. And one day will be structure and like jotting down ideas. Another day we will research, then editing, then this and that. And then in the end of it, even if it's not good enough, I don't feel bad because I know that I've put in the time. I've done it my way. It was a morning time when I'm at my
Mhm.
best. It was, and sort of it just because you listen to your body. Because it was a morning, you gave yourself little windows of work instead of one day. You gave yourself time. We're breathing through it. It doesn't feel hard. And even if it's not that good or doesn't resonate, you know what? As you said, I did my best. So I do feel like things have to feel easy in your body. And I keep saying that
Mhm.
that business should be easy, and especially solo business, because it's you doing it. So if it feels hard and annoying and you hate it, how will you be successful in it? There's no way. Yeah.
I will
So
say
I
thing about can I say something about your
Yeah,
2 hours?
yeah, go
Sorry
ahead.
to interrupt. Um, I have noticed this because I get distractions all the time. I have to leave my phone on 24/7 when I'm not at mom's house. I have to in case
Hmm.
something happens, she needs me. I can be there in like 30 seconds. When I'm not with her, I get notifications all the time. So I'm very easily distracted. I am. And
Mm,
maybe it made me a great ICU nurse because something happened here, you went here, you put out that fire, you're
mm,
constantly putting out fires. I've noticed, and this is how I think you can do it, and this is how I do it, is that when we cut off the distractions, like all the notifications turned off, right?
mm,
Now my phone's still on for my mother. That's the only one
mm,
notification I don't turn off. But when we are focused, when we don't have the brain fog, when we're nourished, when we've slept, when our nervous system, our mind, body, spirit is my God, I can do it's like almost 6 hours work in an hour. And I look and
mm,
go, "Wow, I can't believe I did that much work in that amount of
mm,
time." Where other I'm stopping to do this and I'm stopping, it takes me all day. And I'm doing what you're doing now too, even though I have because my 52-week reset is a big portion of it is
mm,
already set, is that it goes out on Sunday. On Monday, I'm already starting
mm,
a little bit Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. On Saturday, I go and I'm adjusting and doing different things. And on
mm,
Saturday, because it's going out Sunday morning, I go in and I do my final. And there are quite a few changes that go on during that week, and
mm,
and it improves it because different things happen during the week and I get different insights and I get,
mm,
if I, reach out to you or something and it makes me think of something else, oh, that would be great, to put in the article.
mm.
So I think taking that
Yeah.
time and not being on this, "Oh, it's gotta be out tomorrow," and
Mm.
I've done that once before, and I said, "I'll never do that again," because then
Yeah,
you're up
no,
and you're tired. Yeah.
I think exactly that. You have to feel it easy in your body. If there's a tension in your body, there's something that needs to change. It doesn't mean necessarily that it has to be easy in terms of not taking on challenges, but when
Right.
you take on challenges, you have to make it easy for yourself to take them on. Like, you have to take them on, for example, when you're, again, early in the morning, for example, or if you're the type of person who works better at night, you're going to take them later at night, and you're going to take them with like a cup of coffee or a cup of water, and just make it easy for yourself. And is there anything I wanted to ask you, like, it's a two-part question. First is a little bit about awareness. So how
Mhm.
do we figure out that it's the body that is making us, it's the nervous system that is, are there like specific signs, even if it's like a couple of things that are easy to sort of notice? And then if there are like the first steps in those moments that we can sort of calm down and take a step back, or what should we do actually? What should we do to give us a little bit of a reset in the moment?
The body is so intelligent. When I say body, I'm talking body mind.
Mm,
It first it starts whispering to us little things like just a little tension or a little forgot to do this. I normally put the keys there. I put the keys there every single time, but where are my
mm,
keys? They're not there. And start noticing, so that awareness, listen to the body, and it will whisper at you. And if you don't
mm.
listen to the whispers, it will yell at you.
Yeah.
Notice the change, early. If you notice there's any changes early, then you can address them then. It's better, and I always go back to, not even, I'm more holistic than I am, even though I've been a nurse 30 years. I've been holistic 30 years,
Mhm,
and I prefer the prevention and maintenance. Even with the awareness, it's important, but I think even before that is prevention and maintenance.
mm,
We have to have daily habits. We have to be consistent, just as we are in our business and our life. Um, have tools to use before you need them. That's
mm,
part of the 52-week reset. Every single week, above the paywall, I give you plenty of information. There's value. But below are the tools. And I
mhm,
give 3 tools every week. One that
mm,
usually has to do with vitality, calm, and then the other with connection, because
mm,
we need connection. But I think even before we talk about awareness, if we take care of ourselves,
mm,
then and it's going to come no matter how well we eat, no matter how much we exercise, things are going to come, whether it's the flu's going around or something. But if we do that prevention and maintenance, we'll have a little awareness, like a little spike in a fever, right? Your
mm,
temperature goes up a little. So in your
mm,
body, your immune system is working to combat whatever it is, and you will recover faster. And
mm,
people, please, I'm going to say it as a nurse, do not take acetaminophen or Tylenol for a fever, a low grade fever. That's your immune system working. You don't want
mm,
to shut it off. So many people during COVID, they were giving people acetaminophen, and all the studies show it decreases red blood cell production.
mhm,
What's in red blood cells? Hemoglobin, oxygen. Just had to put
mm.
that out there. So
Yeah.
that's the low grade fever. Let it do what it's supposed to do. Hydrate. Another thing with solopreneurs, hydration. Well, sit, sit, sit. Sit is the next smoking. If you can
Mm,
get a sit stand station,
mm,
where you can stand up I'd say every 30 minutes, because I work from home for the VA during COVID and community
mm,
care. And we had home every 30 minutes. I'd go and I'd walk around. I'd go outside. I'm on 10 acres and then come back. I started getting blurred vision, double vision, headaches, got an MRI. Stress.
mhm,
Stress will kill you, causes
mhm,
hypertension and everything. So the main thing is to really get ourselves, and I'm not saying you have to be an athlete. I'm not saying you have to lift weights. I mean, range of motion, stretching, hydration. A big thing, water. Our body's
mm,
made up of a huge percentage of water. There's debate on
mm,
how much, but hydrating with good water is huge. By the time you're thirsty, it's too late. I mean, you're already dehydrated and you can't think, and that throws your electrolytes off and you can have heart arrhythmia. There's just so many things that can happen
yeah.
that but when we take care of ourselves and we do the prevention and we do the maintenance, then when something does come up, we were aware of it, we're like, something feels off. This is what I do most of the time, not all the time. I'll sit down and I'll like close my eyes and go inside and I will ask my body what's going on.
Mm,
And I will sit there and I say, and your body will tell you what's going on. There's never been a time that I have asked. Now, sometimes it takes longer,
mm,
but because I need to be patient, which I'm not very
mm.
good, it's not my personality, but I'm
Yeah.
learning and listen. And even if there's an issue, or sometimes, especially as women, I'm not saying men don't do this, but we'll just start to cry. Why,
Mm,
why is it? Is it hormonal? Is it something from the past? Is it, so just sit with whatever it is. Don't let it fester. Don't ignore it. And if it's something, a major thing, sometimes people do have to get some help,
mm,
depending on what it is. But um, supporting it, I mean, there are the main thing is hydration, good food,
mm,
movement.
mm,
Movement. Not to lift
mm.
weights, walk, range of motion, stretching, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Prayer, meditation, getting out in nature.
Mm.
Because a lot of people, I used to live in a big city. I was raised in Atlanta. I can't, just too much of the
Yeah.
frequencies and the electrical currents and everything and all the people and all the energy is too much for me. Um,
Mm,
you can do, I use essential oils, a very good way for one of the best ways to calm emotions, any emotions. If you're hyper, you're depressed, you're way too
mm,
anxious or anything like that, is to diffuse essential oils because it goes right up into the olfactory here and here's your brain.
mm,
One of my articles, that's one of the resets, and I go through that. It's in the paywall
mm.
part because
Yeah.
that's the good stuff.
So
And
it's
with
like is it like different essential oils like affect you with in different emotions, different states? Like,
yes, yes,
yeah,
but
that's
here's
so
the
interesting.
thing: one
Mm.
size doesn't fit all.
Mm.
So
Yeah, of course.
It's I'll give one example with a medication. Benadryl. Benadryl makes me so hyper, I'm climbing out of my skin. I can't do Benadryl. Just to give an
Mm,
example with a medication. With essential oils, there's something called cilantro, and
mm,
it's in one of the blends that I use that really helps release tension. But
mm,
cilantro brings the anger that I still have in there.
mm,
Sometimes it hasn't completely
mm,
resolved, comes up. And so I have to be
mm,
careful when I use it. I don't put it on me, but
mm,
I will diffuse it.
mm.
What just
Okay.
happened? Did I don't know.
Your camera is off, but we still hear you. Your
Okay, there
camera
we
is off,
are.
but we
I don't
still
know
hear
what.
you. Okay,
Yeah, I don't know what.
got it.
Oh, it looked like somebody tried to call or something.
Mm,
So this is one thing I do when I work with people is that I'm not going to say, use citrus essential oil to uplift you because it depends. I need more information. People ask all the time,
mhm,
and they may do this with you with business. Well,
mhm,
what do I do for this? Well, you need more information. There's a lot
mm,
more questions that come before. So that's why I don't like to put out generic stuff because one size doesn't fit
mm.
all.
Mm,
You
and
know, and we,
especially in your with your experience and you've seen so much, it's not just that you've tried it on you, but I
mhm.
know that you've helped others. You've even helped your own mother through a major health problem, and I know that you really know your stuff. And I just want to say to everyone who's here, and I do want to invite you to talk a little bit more about how people can work with you and your newsletter. But before that, I really want to say, guys, like as a solopreneur, the way to build capacity
Mm.
is this. Because if you're like running a company, how do you build capacity? Like you hire people, you buy software, you train people or whatever. You build systems, right? But as a solopreneur, one of the ways to build capacity and to build a system is to get control of this, right? To get control of your body, which will then help your mind. Your mind is a part of your body. So if you experience like brain fog or indecision or a lack of creativity or whatever, like for me it's often like lack of sleep. It's so simple,
Mhm.
it is insane. Like we're like, oh, let me buy a new course so that I can figure out what to do next to make money. And you know how often it is just get some good night's sleep. Get some good night's sleep. Tomorrow you have a new idea, boom, $1,000. Like it's really not. I mean, there obviously there's skill and strategy involved in doing a business. There's business skill, but so much of solopreneurship is building this capacity within ourselves. The idea that we can show up even when we don't feel like it, even when we think that we can't, even that we feel like we have nothing to say or we can't help or whatever. The idea that we can show up and figure it out, this can only happen when we are like, whole humans, like using all our resources and our body and our mind. So this is the part where I would love for Kathleen to tell you a little bit more about what she does, because she is the best, and honestly, the value that she offers, and I'm not just saying that. I have been through multiple biohacking conferences. I've talked to doctors. I've talked to like really people who are in this industry, and the type of thing that she does, where she will just for like and even only there in her publication that she will give you sort of custom advice where it's like, oh, maybe you need this, maybe you need that. And then you obviously you can work with her even further. Like it is amazing value. This is your health. So I will just let her talk to you a little bit more about that.
Well, before you said that, I was gonna say that what and I'm not a fake person. I say what it is, and sometimes it really pisses people off, but, I say how it is. I do. Um, what you do is very good. And so everything you were just talking about, and, you talk about even putting together, systems, atomic habits. He talks about goals. People have goals, right?
Mhm.
Just want to say this first before I say anything
Mhm.
about is that, what does it say? You fall to the level, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. The
Mhm.
World Cup is going on right now, and
Mhm.
all over, right? They all have the same goal. They all want to win, right? They all
Mhm.
want to be the champion, but it's their system.
Mhm.
And there's and that's something that I think you teach. I don't know if you realize it or not, maybe you do. About systems and being consistent. And there was something you just did about, sales versus marketing. I won't give it away. I think it
Mhm.
was paid subscribers, and
Yeah, that's okay.
how everybody's marketing, marketing, marketing. Well, you've got to know what you've got so that you can sell,
Mhm.
right? And what about the non-marketing? That webinar was so fantastic, and it made me go, that's what I used to do when I did outside sales for BASF
Mhm.
Corporation, So I
Mhm.
I I just think that there's a lot of people on here that sell programs and do all this stuff. And like I said again, I spent thousands of dollars my first year, and I'm down to 3 people now. Well, 2 really. You're one of them, and then there's one other.
Mhm.
But, and especially if not even if you're just a solopreneur, these things can apply to our lives as well.
Mhm.
So I really think people need to go look at what you offer, because I think it's phenomenal, the value, and I've got it down to, I don't have time to follow all these people. And I'm not gonna
Mhm.
pay all this money for all this anyway, because I won't have time so I'm gonna go down to 2, maybe 3 people max,
Mhm.
and you're one of them. And I'm telling you, I'm honest to God truth, you know, that's all I'll say
Thank
about
you. Thank
that.
you. That is more than enough. Thank you very much. Now
No,
let's talk about you a little bit and
okay,
what you have to offer because it's also
okay,
amazing.
okay. So I've never done even anything I've ever done, and I like to give examples. I've never done cookbook medicine when I was in the medical cartel industry.
Mm.
I um, I went in to change the system, and every single day I was able to change at least one thing in the system. Um, talk Just give another example. Talk about saying
Mm.
no. When you said talk about saying no, um, as a massage therapist, I've had people come. I did it for a year. That's all I did. I took a break from nursing, and I would tell people, they would come and they heard I was fantastic. They called me a healer, whatever, and they'd want a massage, and I'd ask them, you know, do you want to get better? Do you want to heal? Because something's going to happen. I guarantee it. And they say, I just want a massage. I'd say, take your money, in a nice way and go elsewhere because that's not what I do.
Mm,
So when I look at people, when I work with people, um, it's hard to work on multiple things at one time, but sometimes that one thing that they're
mm,
having the symptom for is actually something completely different. It's much deeper. So I look for, and people can talk about root cause. I've talked about it for a long time. The root cause. Okay, here's the symptom, but what's really going on? Things
mm,
that doctors should ask, or anybody, has anything changed in your life? Did you move? Did you start a new job? Did you have a baby? Have you changed relationships? Have you changed your eating habits? Have you all these things that you can
mm,
ask because it may be something as simple as a nutrient deficiency.
mm,
Another example.
mm,
This woman I know, she's an acupuncturist. There was a couple that went online. They were having terrible anxiety and depression.
mm,
They paid someone online $4,000, each of
mm,
them. That's $8,000.
mm,
He wasn't a physician, but he did certain things. Nothing he did worked. They went to
mm,
her. She checked for parasites. It was
mm,
parasites. They spent $8,000 looking for all this stuff that this person really didn't
mm,
and 8,000. I'd love to have
mm.
something give me $8,000.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't even charge anything near that, not even
Mm,
close. But
mm,
so it's really listening, asking the questions, individualizing everything because we're all so different and we react to things. I'm very sensitive to everything. I'm
mm,
very sensitive. So whatever someone says, which I don't really go to doctors, I have to go once a year because I'm 65
mm,
now, but you know, I would only take a small amount and I would do everything I could to do prevention,
mm,
or not prevention, to treat it naturally. And then when all else fails, I go the other way. And I do that because I almost died from an antibiotic when I had pneumonia
mm,
at 52. And I mean, I healed myself through
mm,
essential oils and herbs and hydration. And so that's the main thing, is to individualize. And even though the things you do is general too, you still individualize based on the person's personality, their
mm,
lifestyle. I think when we do that, it's much it's so it works better, number 1. They're satisfied, and I think they see results a lot faster. And it's
mm,
not like people, they'll go to the chiropractor when I lived in Leesburg, and they'd go, 3 times a week, keep going back. And I said to the chiropractor, "Why don't you get a massage therapist in here to help loosen up the muscles and stuff so that when you do the adjustment, it doesn't go right back?"
mm,
So people that I was massaging as a massage therapist, I can't say I adjust,
mm,
the spine. Well, I adjust the spine because what I do is I work the muscles and I can feel what's out and I can feel it go back.
mm,
They stop going to chiropractic. Now
mm,
it's not just me that does that. People
mm,
that really care and aren't out for the money. We all deserve money, but
mm,
be fair. Offer,
mm,
do what you say and say what you do. Live it. I've lived it.
mm,
I've been through I-
mm. Yeah,
so
I
much.
know.
And I come through it and I'm still here and I'm strong. I'm not weak. I'm not, but we all have our days. So
Of course.
my 52-week reset, I decided to do that for the nervous system because it's so important. In, like I said, stress doesn't differentiate between our business life and our life.
Mm,
Um, my annual price is $129.
wow.
Some of those resets, people will charge you $199 just for one of those articles.
One session and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm giving everything in it. Now that's not personal me one-on-one, but
Mm,
the adv it's lived, it's proven. If someone tried something and there was a bad reaction or whatever,
mm,
they could always reach out to me. I do have a work with me on there. I'm gonna put some more work with me,
mm,
offers because I wanna do some with essential oils only,
mm,
to like a medicine, like, we call it medicine cabinets in America. We have medicine cabinets and people have
mm,
Tylenol and stuff for pain and stuff for headaches and stuff
mm,
like that. You can address that naturally, and slowly convert those things over to a natural medicinal cabinet. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm
Mm.
gonna exactly call that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I do, as I said, I went through a couple of biohacking conferences a couple of years ago for a client who was in the
Mhm.
healthcare industry. And one of the things that I noticed is what they say is that the healthcare industry is really an industry that has cures for certain conditions. And some of those cures are important. We're not like denying it or whatever,
Right.
but it's not good at prevention. So it's
Mm-mm.
not really health care. It's more about health. I don't know what, like curing some things, right? But if you want to sort of, get in there before something really bad happens,
Right.
and if you want to be just as a person, a full on happy I'm going to say effective, even though I'm a little bit sick of all the ultra optimization people are trying to do now. We're like superhumans, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's fun at all, and I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, to be effective up to a point, and to be happy, and to be energized, and to have motivation and vitality, as you said, we gotta keep this in mind. All of this is important stuff, and I
People look
know that people are spending a lot on other stuff and
at
health. Oh my God. Like, and let me tell you, I know just a few millionaires. I'm not like all my friends are like million. I know a few millionaires who are like people with serious businesses. And the richer they get, and obviously the older they get, they're all about health, all of their money, all of their focus, all of their spending on like products and supplements, etc. It's all about that. Like they are so ultra focused on that, and obviously they want to they want to live longer, they want to live better, they have the money to do it. But it's never, oh, just traditional medicine. It's never, oh, I'm fine, my labs are fine or whatever. It's always like, what more can I do to feel better? And especially one of the guys who's like my former boss, this guy, I can tell you, he completely changed after he started doing some of those things. And he didn't even know it was physical. He was so stressed out in his business, like during the time when he was my boss. Oh my God. He was like, he would give me such a hard time. It was very difficult sometimes to work with him or to make him see some things or whatever. And then just through working with his body, with his nervous system, actually, and it's one of the things that made me really want to talk about this with you, because I heard this man who's like a multi-million-dollar net worth individual with multiple businesses. And he was like, one of the things that allowed me to grow past a certain level, it was the nervous system and taking care of my body. That was the thing. So I fixed this, and then boom, magical things happen. Because suddenly you start to see things clearly, you start
yeah.
to take a breath, you start to demand like your own space and go into conversations in a different way. So it is just so important. It's so I don't think enough people talk
Yeah.
about this really within the entrepreneurship space,
Yeah.
maybe like within the lifestyle and healthcare, but within
Right.
the entrepreneurship space, I don't think enough people really talk about
Well,
this.
your labs can be normal. Well, what's normal? Here's your range. Like on
Mm,
potassium, 3.5 to 5. Well,
mm,
in cardiac patients, and here comes my nursing knowledge because that's what I did 27 years in facilities, 3 years.
mm,
I do it now for free, but for my mom.
mm,
But, you know, uh, if she goes below 4, she'll start throwing arrhythmias.
mm,
Then you have to look, and I can't speak to people about certain things because I have to ask, do they have proper kidney function? You
mm,
can't start giving people electrolytes if their kidneys are off. And then women, look, our thyroid, our TSH, thyroid stimulating
mm,
hormone, from 1 to 4. 1
mm,
to 4. You think those are little numbers? Well, there's
mm.
1.123 all the way.
Yeah.
When mine's at 2,
Mm,
I feel completely different than when mine's at 1 on the lower end,
yeah.
which is more hyper. My
Mm,
heart rate goes up and all that. So even on the offer I have now for the 229 to work with someone, I look at labs. I don't care. I look at patterns. I look at
mm,
trends. I don't wanna know what your one set of labs are. I wanna know multiple sets, you know?
mm.
And it's
Over
the
time.
same in business. We're looking at trends. We're looking at
Mm,
patterns. You can't just take a
exactly.
snapshot of what your blood work is that day, and then they medicate you or do
Yeah.
whatever based on that. You cannot. You're gonna
Yeah. You're so
Cost
right
cutting,
that
you're
it's the
gonna
same
hurt
with
people.
business, right? Yeah,
Right.
it's so right that you're the same with business. You can't get 1 month and be like, "Oh, you're doing great," but then maybe you're actually losing money for the year. We actually have a
Exactly.
question here from Lee, and I know that you've actually been talking about this before. So you decide whether you want to direct her to some of your work or you want to answer here. And the question is, how do you reset grief? This is really heavy right now. So, but like, I will give you some time to answer this because it's important.
And I've been working with her a little bit on this already.
Mm,
We lost my stepfather,
mm,
uh, October 15th. They've been married 50 years. It was 5 days after. Now, non-compliant diabetic of 40 years.
mm,
Surprised he lived that long, and he needed a pacer defibrillator and refused to get it.
mm,
So, in saying that, we still lost him.
mm,
I have for my paid subscribers, and I printed it out for her to a 5-week grief companion.
mm,
It's got everything in it. I will direct her
mm,
to that again because
mm,
she's included in that.
mm,
And it goes through all the different stages. We get stuck in certain stages. I mean, here's one thing about it's about almost saying grief. We carry it with us the rest of our life, but
mm.
let's carry it with us in a healthy way. Because
Yeah.
there's stages and we can get stuck in that stage and we can go to this stage and then we can go back to another stage. It's not like I'm in stage 1 and now I'm in stage 2, denial, and then I'm in
Mm,
this and this. It fluctuates. It fluctuates through the holidays, through when their birthday was, through moments that I mean, grief is it's something we carry with us the rest.
mm.
It's not gonna go away.
Yeah.
And you think after
Yeah.
50 years, that's a long time to be with someone.
Mm,
So I will
absolutely.
be speaking
Yeah.
and working with her more on that
Okay, great,
after our
Lee. She
call.
will she will send you the document. Okay, we are 50 minutes in, over delivered a little, but as I said to Kathleen, it doesn't really matter. This is not about length, it's not about minutes or hours. I think it's an important topic, and I just told her that we will have the discussion that we want to have, that we think is important, so that you guys can benefit from it. Again, whether you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, or anyone who just sort of stumbled onto our conversation, highly recommend Kathleen, and also highly recommend you taking your body and mind health seriously.
Mhm.
It affects the person that you are, and it's not about becoming better. You are already great, I'm sure. It's about having the energy to be great. It's about having the energy and the capacity to show up as your best selves in your life and in your work. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for joining us. This was absolutely great. I'll make sure that we send the recording out to people so more people can hear and watch.
Can I say one
And
thing before you close us
absolutely,
out?
go ahead.
So, my closing thought is this, and I had to
Mm,
write it down. The goal isn't to wait until our bodies start screaming for help.
mm, mm,
Support your mind, body, and your spirit, your nervous system every day through prevention and maintenance. So you're listening to the whispers when they come up long before they have to shout.
mm. This is a great way to close this. Thank you again, everyone, so much. I will really remember this conversation.
Thank you, Maya.
Thank you, Kathleen. You have a great day,
Thank
evening,
you, everybody.
wherever you are, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.